last book, actually. This book is called Threads of Destiny, and I say it is in the hands of the Master Weaver. Why did I write this book? It's because after going through many different kind of things in my life, some very painful, traumatic, and also good things that God has done, I realized that in the journey of life, God is like God working, like the weaver works through a basket or doing something with the threads. And I realized that from down here, we see the mess of our lives, we see the failures, we see the pains, but from above, the Master sees the beauty of what He's making out of us. And through my life, I decided it is good to be able to share my story, because as somebody said, every life is a story if we care enough to listen. And so I wrote this book to just be able to bring hope to somebody who may be feeling hopeless, to bring, restoration where there is desperation, and to tell you that God gives a second chance in life, but you must be willing to take that chance. And so I welcome you to order a copy of this book. It is only 1,000 shillings, and or $10 for those who are outside of the country. You can order through the number on the screen, and we'll be able to get you a copy of this book. God bless you as you read it. Give it to somebody else, and I know they will be helped. Amen.
Once again, welcome to Kingdom Business Network. We're so much excited that you're watching us from wherever you're watching us. And we know that we are going to engage with you today on the topic today. And the topic today is quite interesting. We want to discuss about the future of work in the age of AI, artificial intelligence. And I know that today you are going to be assisted in one way or another, equipped, and you learn something from the discussion. Don't take things for granted, because this is the future. AI is the future. And from wherever you're watching us, we'd like to remind you to please remember to subscribe, to like, to share, especially on our YouTube page. And that will go a long way in supporting this program. Also consider supporting us even financially, even to keep this program on air. And today we have our guest who was here last week, Mr. Derrick Ngari, and he's going to continue the discussion on AI. And I would like to welcome Derrick to introduce himself. Welcome, Derrick.
Thank you, Dr. My name is Derrick Ngari from AkiliNova Limited. We make apps and systems for businesses using AI power. And we've been having a great conversation here. Last time we spoke about AI for stewardship and how you can use AI to start your business. And today we have a wonderful conversation concerning the future of work in the age of AI. I hope you'll be blessed and you learn something today.
Thank you very much, Derrick, for coming. How was your week?
My week has been awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot,
yes,
and many things have been coming up even in the AI space, and I can't wait to share them today with our viewers.
Okay. For the viewer, please remember to start sending the questions to Derrick. I want him to answer your specific question because we are here because of you. And as usual, I have my co-host, Lewis Ndege, or Coach Lewis. Lewis, you can introduce yourself with the viewer to the viewer and tell us what to expect today.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Daktari. And to our viewers, welcome back. This is, as usual, KBN, and we are here so that we can continue making our businesses better, especially for us who are in the kingdom, those of us who are still thriving to make the world a better place. We are here. Last time we talked about a disruption, and the disruption is what we are calling artificial intelligence. And to many, it is a point of concern. To others, it is a point of opportunity. I don't know to what side do you sit, but today, as usual, as we started this conversation a few weeks ago, we've been trying to demystify. We've been actually demystifying the available opportunities, how we can leverage on AI so that we can make our businesses better, we can make our work better. Last week, actually, we talked about the different businesses that a person can actually begin today with artificial intelligence for free. Guess what? Today, we are taking that conversation a notch higher. We are coming to discuss about the future of artificial intelligence in the future of work, in the age of AI. And as we talk about that conversation, remember most people's concern is, will AI take our jobs? Will AI come to replace us? Those of us who are professionals, those of us who are freelancing. And guess what? Today we are here so that we can further that conversation and get to go deeper. And to help us do that, as usual, is our AI expert, Derrick Ngari, all the way from AkiliNova Tech Limited. Thank you so much for coming back.
Welcome, Sana.
Yes. So, Derrick, help us understand, is AI a disruption or is it a business opportunity? And if it's a disruption, what industries in Kenya will be most affected or are currently most affected?
Clearly, AI is a disruption, and it is also a business opportunity.
Yeah.
And today our conversation is about the future of work. And we want to see what industries will be affected the most. And when we talk about the future of work, we're talking about three things. We are talking about how people work as they are working today. What nature of works are they doing? What demand? What skills are in demand? What is changing in the workplaces? When technology is changing, when globalization is changing, when demographics are changing, and all these things are affecting us here in the country today. When we look at the jobs that we have right now and how AI has developed, there has been said that that entry-level jobs, 40% of entry-level jobs, when we talk about entry-level jobs, we are talking about these jobs that involve repetitive tasks, jobs like data entry, jobs like customer care and relationship. 40% of these jobs will get replaced, will be replaced by automation, which is an AI capability. And this is happening because businesses want to make work more faster. Because the thing with machines is that machines are more efficient as compared to humans. Machine can actually get they can get answers quicker than a human can do. So when we speak, for instance, about customer care relationship, a CSR kind of a person, we are seeing the rise of chatbots and voice bots. And these things are in use by very many businesses today. We've seen, I think each and every business, when you go to their website, you'll see a chat box that you can ask about that business. Actually, when you make a call to Safaricom today, you're always given an option to speak with someone who is not a human being. And actually that already is technology. That is AI. You might not see it as so, but that is AI at work. And we have seen initially, when we used to call to Safaricom, you will be given to a physical person. Right now, as the population increases, we might not have a chance to speak with people. So you can see already it has started affecting us. It has started affecting the way business is being done. So another aspect we've seen that is at a great risk of replacement in our country. We've seen these jobs of tellers and cashiers because in the banks and all that. Because we have seen banks are automating most of these steps. When we talk about cashiers, you've gone to supermarkets where there is self-checkout.
Sure.
By self-checkout is that you can put goods in your basket and you can actually go to the counter. You can pay them, you can tap them, and you can pay and leave. because now they have smart they have smart cameras in the businesses, and these are trends. These are trends which are happening all over the globe, and these are trends that are catching up with us today. We've also seen the rise of autonomous driverless cars, like Waymo. In America, a friend of mine told me that he was in California last week, and he actually had used one of these Waymos. They have become a very common trend that everybody is looking up to them. Imagine these things come today and we have Uber drivers in Kenya. So those are people who are at a greater risk of replacement by these new technology. As much as we say that AI will not replace you, there are some areas of AI that are too basic. And now that comes for the aspect of reskilling and upskilling. There are some very basic tasks people will get replaced, because if now I've seen the Tesla has developed these big trucks which are autonomous. You mean they can leave from the port of Mombasa and go to Kampala without a driver? They can move from this warehouse to this warehouse without a driver. We've seen warehouses, Amazon warehouses, which are using robots to package, to sort. And these things are also coming in our country today, because there is this rise of online shopping, and people want to disaggregate these different things that you've ordered online. So we shall see there shall be a form of replacement in some aspect, in some jobs. We'll also see jobs like graphic design. I think these are jobs that if that is what you entirely depend on, now you'll have to learn another skill, because easily now, I'm pretty sure all of us have at one point or another tried to generate a graphic design using AI. And you can see already that is something that is at risk. We've also seen that people are coming up with market strategies using AI. You can actually come up with a whole strategy, a content strategy using AI. Even the bit of content creation, the people who come to make videos about a business, AI is doing that. We've also seen AI develop advertisements. Like someone can prompt engineer, come up with a very wonderful advertisement for a product. So these are disruptions, yes, but it also creates an opportunity. You spoke about business opportunity. And what is the business opportunity here? Because at the end of the day, as much as we have driverless cars, people have to make these driverless cars. As much as we have chatbots, people have to come and integrate these chatbots. And there are aspects of AI that will need humans to do, and I know we'll be talking about that. But as much as people will be replaced, it's on the very basic forms of work. And now that is the part where skilling comes up. And once you skill, now you will not be at the risk of being replaced. So I'll say that the entry-level jobs, people who are in those levels, you need to be very watchful and kindly start upskilling right now.
One of the most interesting displacement that I've seen in AI is when I read about this Albanian minister.
Yeah.
This country of Albania, they decided procurement in their country is riddled with a lot of corruption. So what did they do? They just got a robot which is equipped with the AI, and it's programmed, and he became the minister of procurement in Albania. And that is the most interesting I've ever seen.
Yes,
I hope we do the same here.
And I'm pretty sure that minister will be corrupt free.
Yeah,
because you cannot.
But can it be manipulated? Because now this is the awarding of tenders and the procurement system. Can you then program it to manipulate it?
When you look at machines, mostly these people will try to manipulate, especially because we've seen the biggest threats, for instance, of data centers are hackers trying to have their way. And in our company, we develop bank systems. And when you're making, because I want to give you an example of how people try to influence this. A bank system or a microfinance system is a system that deals with money. It's probably a system that deals with loans. It's probably a system that can get you paid if you actually get inside it. You can actually be in a position to transfer money from one person to another person. So people will actually try to manipulate that thing because there is value in doing that. You can actually get a tender to build a road in Albania if you successfully. But now there are things that are called firewalls and guardrails. Like there are things that there are protective measures, cyber security measures, which definitely every builder, I'm pretty sure it's a very solid system. The Albanians are good tech guys, and I'm pretty sure they've taken all the necessary steps, but there'll be attempts to do that. You can be certain that there's someone actually, as we speak right now, is looking for a way to award themselves a tender in Albania.
So how can employees prepare so that they don't get left behind in this AI opportunity and disruption?
Wow. So, Daktari, when we talk about, I want us to go back a bit. When we talk about the future of work, I want us to remember where we come from as a human race. You remember, I'm pretty sure we were not all there, but we were actually not there. But we began as foragers in the wilderness, maybe in some animal skin, in a desert somewhere. Then in a cave or something. And we used to be in groups. Maybe now the women stayed at home with the children. Men went to hunt. The older people are there giving children stories because they don't have the energy to hunt. And then we went from that, we went to farming. And in farming now, we were using maybe bulls and buffaloes to do the farming, to make work easier using sticks. Now we started developing tools. We moved from the farmland, we go to the industrial age. Now we have these big industries. People now who used to be in farms are moving to cities to work in industries. In these big industrial halls, floors, women and children come World War II, women and children are working. We have labor laws. Children go to school. Now women and men are seeking for better pay. We move from that, we come to the office. And now in the office, we come to COVID-19. And COVID-19 comes as another disruption. And it actually changes the way the office operates. Now people realize that you can actually have a meeting virtually. You can actually do what? You can actually work from home. That is where this whole remote thing. And actually from that, I am highly convinced that it's after the COVID-19 that we have even seen the greater leaps, like technologies like AI are actually a resultant of what happened in that phase. So when we talk about what employees, you can see that transition that has happened from being foragers to industries. So imagine someone lived through someone was born in 1910, and that is prior the 1900. That is when the agrarian revolution is shifting to the industrial revolution. And this person is probably 18-year-old. And now they have to shift to the industrial age. This person had to upskill. This person had to learn a new skill to be useful. Actually, when you look at the agrarian revolution, 70% of people used to work in farms. Only 30% were skilled as artisans. And do you know what happened when industries came? The 30% was wiped out because everyone wants to work in the industries. And now the people who will not skill in this age, the people who will not go back and take time to study a tool and master something, actually you will be at a very great risk because you will not be giving anyone value. Because at the end of the day, what employers want is someone who is offering them value. And in the AI age, what is the value here? The value is knowing how to use an AI tool and actually helping a business grow. And it will not just grow without having AI literacy. So our viewers, if you are our viewer today, what I would really ask you and plead you to do, you must get yourself AI literate. Because the future we are going into, I'm pretty sure we have 30, 40 years you have many years to live by. And you cannot live, it's like living without knowing how to read and write. Yeah. You know, that it will become it's an uphill task already. So I would really plead with the viewer, if you are to be good, if you are to offer value and to stay at your workplace, you have to learn what you do. If you're an accountant, know how can I use AI in this work, and how can I actually help because if you're an accountant who uses AI and your boss will come around doing their restructuring, it's you they'll be looking for. The one who does not know how to use AI will be laid off. The one who knows how to use AI, because they can offer value, they'll stay at that job. So it is about upskilling, reskilling. So you have to learn, relearn, and unlearn. That is adaptability. If you don't do that, you shall be obsolete.
I've even seen that the Microsoft Office software packages like Excel, Word, and the rest of them, they're all integrating AI today.
Yes.
It tells you the future.
True.
Coach Lewis, what's your take on this?
I think what I'm hearing is adapt, adopt, or be obsolete. Because we are in what you may want to term as a transition period. And sometimes during a transition, two people benefit. One are the people who take advantage and position themselves accordingly. Two are the people who the transition finds already prepared. But woe unto you who fails to do the two things. You are not skilled or prepared already, and you fail to adopt the new technologies as they come. This reminds me of the ICT revolution. When the ICT revolution came, new careers sprout. People started adopting IT, computer science, software engineering. Some of those careers didn't exist before the ICT revolution. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence. Then I want to believe we will also be having new careers that people now need to adopt. People need to start embracing. Some of us who are in the education sector need to start creating curriculums around. So do you think we have new job categories that will be coming up as a result of these new careers that will start to be embraced in the current age? And which those job categories that you think our young people can start to eye and take up?
Okay. So thank you. That's a wonderful question. I want us to go back. There's a very famous analogy.
Yes.
That I don't know you've ever seen the analogy of the pilot and the cameraman that were replaced by the drone.
Yes.
And it only took 10 years
Yes.
to do that. Like imagine they used to, in cinematography,
Yes.
to make a wonderful film, they used to have a pilot, a helicopter,
Yes.
and a cameraman.
Yes.
Those are two people who lost their job by a drone. So now that job was replaced by only one person called a drone operator.
Yes.
You've seen that. So, and that is what comes in transitions.
True.
Like people will look for the simplest way possible.
True.
If probably these used to cost a budget of 100,000, they can cut that to 50,000.
Yes.
Because that is how the economy works, because businesses want to. So when we talk about, yes, new careers will come in a transition, careers, they might be doing exactly the same thing that used to be done before, but in a different way, as you can see from that illustration.
True.
So, and when we talk about what jobs are we talking about here, what new careers will come out in this wonderful age that we are in, because it's a wonderful moment. It's one of those ages you are thank God to be born in.
True.
Because when we talk about AI, we'll definitely need people who will train these models, because we are still there's a lot of building that is happening. We are still in the initial stages of AI. I was sharing with someone this morning and telling them that LLMs, large language models, are actually limited in that they do not have a 3D understanding of the world we are living in.
Okay.
They actually cannot know, they cannot know whether doing this is breaking or it's folding. They do not have that understanding. And there is a development of now scientists, after AI scientists noted that, they realized that now we need another model that can actually have a 3D understanding. And that is what we talk about, the large world model.
Okay.
And this large world model will be used in robotics, it will be used in smart glasses, it will be used in most of these hardware, which are AI powered. And actually we might see a integration of the two.
Okay.
And that gets me to the second role, integrations.
Okay.
And when anytime there is software and hardware, we'll need people to integrate these two. As much as we have AI, and now we are talking about tech jobs. These are software developers, but people who have specialized in stuff like integrations. So you can integrate systems, you can actually develop networks, because now there'll also be a redevelopment of networks, because the way the old internet age has been communicating, the way systems have been communicating, now we'll need a new way. Now we are talking about 5G network, and probably there'll be another. When we talk about Internet of Things, Internet of Things is about the interconnectedness of devices. And when we talk about this, now with these devices, we will need a new way, a new kind of networking to make these devices communicate way faster. Imagine you're talking about autonomous vehicles, and this vehicle has to communicate with the vehicle in front of it. So we need a very different way of networking. So these are opportunities that are coming up. Also, again, we need people who are called AI ethicists. When we talk, you cannot talk about AI and fail to talk about AI ethics. And we will need people in these factory settings, in these industries that are coming up with new technologies. People who are looking at these technologies and saying, why does your model have bias?
Assessing standards.
Yes, they are assessing these AIs, looking for loopholes. Why is this thing? Like, for instance, Grok or its XAI had to close they had to change a whole algorithm because it was realized that the Grok or its Grok, it had a form of bias. So they had to, and it was one person who wrote a code in the whole model, and it had a certain bias towards a certain group of people, I'll not mention. And now they had to change all that again. So even another thing I've seen, for instance, when AI was coming up and you gave it a photo of a chimpanzee, it will give you results that many people term as ratio. Or if you will put a picture of a black woman, it will give you some. So we need AI ethicists, people who can go into these systems and actually look for these biases inside these models. And again, we're talking about skilling here, because in my schooling, there wasn't a course like AI ethics. And imagine we'll need those people right now. So that is the bit of skilling and upskilling. That is where we're coming up. And there are more duties there are more roles that will come on top of that. Because again, as we speak, AI cannot work in itself. It cannot be independent. We'll need people to actually look at this content which AI has generated for our company. Does it make sense? Or is it just some garbage? Because we say it's garbage in, garbage out. So if it has not been fed with the correct data, if it has not been fed, with the right context, is it giving you the right results for your company? Does the results that it is giving you relevant to your company? So we'll need people to evaluate the results that this AI is bringing for your company. So, and these are jobs. These are not jobs which were there. These are not jobs that were taught in campus. These are things that people will have to teach themselves. But then again, now you have to build a portfolio around that. Because if you do not have a certificate for an AI ethicist, now you have to build a portfolio to show that you are actually capable of doing that. How do you do that? That is where in tech we have things like GitHub. Yeah, you do projects, you upload them there. So there is a proof of work. Someone can actually come to your account and say, actually this person is good. They've done this. And actually when we talk about tech, there's people who call themselves like these hackers who are ethical hackers. They go to systems, look for weaknesses. They actually tell Safaricom or any other company, you guys should work on this because I was able to see this. You can start from there if you are good at it, and you can start, positioning yourself as an AI ethicist. And the list is very long of the opportunities and what you can do with AI. But you can be sure AI is giving so many opportunities. Last time we were speaking about you can do businesses in content creation. You can do businesses about social media management. There's so much that AI is doing, but it's developing whole careers in themselves. Prompt engineers, prompt engineering was a job that people thought it will be something that will be the thing of the day. But actually we are seeing replacement. Now companies are not hiring prompt engineers because AI can do that.
We have AI prompt engineers.
Yes. So we are moving at a very fast speed. So you think you actually can do something, but then you find now AI has caught up with you. So again, now that is why we keep on telling our viewers, you have to upskill, learn and relearn.
And maybe in just 1 minute, tell that young man, that young lady, where they ought to begin.
Yes. If I was a student right now, or I was a jobless person right now, I would invest in 2 things. I would invest in a gadget. By a gadget, I mean, if you can get, and now, today they are very cheap, as a laptop. Or it's around 10,000 to 15,000. You can get a gadget that can do you something good. And now go and to these sites like OpenAI. dedicate my time to learning
Yes.
a skill. Dedicate myself, first of all, to understand what AI is.
Yes.
Because first of all, you need an understanding.
Sure.
And then try to look for an opportunity out there and something which has, which businesses would want to do.
Sure.
And then learn to do that so well, master it, and then offer your service to someone. And I'm pretty sure even if it's for free in the beginning, one day people will pay for that service.
Sure.
So use your time very well. I think this is the time, even myself, I was sharing with Dr. before, but I'm also learning new things. Yeah, right now people are trying to build AI agents and integrating them with WhatsApp. That is something you can learn from YouTube today. And it will not even take you more than 2 weeks.
Yes.
And if you learn to do that, you can actually create value from that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Derrick, for that eye-opener as far as the future of work is concerned. We're looking at AI. And for the viewer who is watching us, we are going to get into a very short 2 minutes only break. And as we do that, please remember to send the questions to Derrick, because in the second part of this program, we want to take your questions, because remember, we are here because of you. We want to ensure that your business gets value from this program, and even you as an individual also get some value from whatever discussion we are having. And remember also to consider to like, share, subscribe, especially on our YouTube page, Faith Today Television, and that will push us a long way. Also remember to also support this program. So don't touch that dial. 2 minutes, we are going to be right back. Thank you.
Faith Today TV is here to make your brand outstanding. Worry not on where to advertise your business or your product. Call us on 0114 777 000 or email us on info@faithtodaytv.co.ke.
Hello there, my name is Enoch. Taking care of your health should be a top priority. Looking at the various engagements that we have today, it is so easy to forget about our health, mental well-being. That is why we introduce to you the Healthy You Talk Show, a brand new show that is going to address matters concerning your health, nutrition, stress management, mental health, name it. We bring to you a wide range of experts who are going to be touching pertinent issues concerning our health. Tune in every Tuesday at 10 a.m. live on Faith Today TV.
Welcome once again to the second part of the Kingdom Business Network. We'll be discussing about the opportunities in AI and the future of work. And we had a question from Lewis. You can continue that question.
Asante sana daktari. Allow us to talk about being relevant, because from what I'm hearing, a few people may be rendered irrelevant or redundant in the recent future, especially those who are going to do against what we usually advocate each and every day, and embracing a culture of continuous learning. So in this time, maybe there are those skills that are very key. A few people may not particularly, or all of us may not particularly incline to the AI direction, but we still need to be relevant in the age of AI. So maybe which are these skills that everyone, every professional, regardless of the field, needs to start learning, needs to start acquiring during this era? Yes.
That is a wonderful question. When you look at AI,
Yes.
it's a machine, and AI is lacking
Sure.
in so many aspects of being human.
Sure.
And in places of work, you'll hear people talk about soft skills.
True.
And these are, and actually they're highly valued. If you go to every employer, they're always looking for these soft skills.
Sure.
And actually, most of the jobs that AI won't replace are jobs that are heavy on the soft skills.
Yes.
Jobs that are heavy on aspects like problem solving.
Yes.
Coming up with a problem from scratch. Yeah. When you look at researchers who come up with solutions for medicines and great breakthroughs in coming up with cures, these are people who have that skill. They are great at problem solving.
True.
They are people who can actually look at, at a business setting. Someone who can come and think through, look at your data and tell you. So that is one skill that you have to be adept with, problem solving. The other one is when you talk about that, we cannot talk about problem solving and fail to talk about critical thinking.
True.
And critical thinking is another aspect that AI cannot do that.
True.
As much as we see AI is a smart being or a smart machine, AI is not able to critically think.
True.
And so when you look at professors, like our lecturers in our universities, most of, and maybe in courses like philosophy and other, maybe theology and these other anthropology, even our teachers,
True.
people who are left with kids like ECB teachers, there are things that AI cannot do because there's something you actually have to teach a kid to do.
True.
And and you have some of these skills need collaboration.
True.
Some of these things need
even emotion.
They require being human. Yeah, when you speak about emotion, you're talking about empathy, empathetic skill. When you look at our nurses, you cannot leave AI to do the nursing work. You have to develop a skill called empathy. Like even in the customer care, as much as we say customer care will be replaced, there's a certain form of understanding that clients would want to have. There's and experience. There's a way I want to be felt. There's a way I want to communicate, and I want someone who can communicate in a similar manner, who understands me in a similar way. You see, these are skills that will be very key for people who have these skills. And I know places of work have various ways of evaluating these skills. So a person who will be key on improving their critical thinking, problem solving, empathetic skills. These are people, communication skills. These are people who will rate highly in the AI age. And then also collaboration. Why do I speak about collaboration? In this AI age, we are seeing something that is changing a lot. You're seeing someone who is working in Nairobi, but they have co-workers in Accra. They have co-workers in Kerala, India. So you're working with people from different cultures. You see, you're working with people who do not speak the language that you're speaking in, people who do not have the same beliefs, maybe social beliefs, cultural beliefs, maybe spiritual and religious beliefs that you have, and yet again, you have to be the light in that group. They have to say you in a certain way. You see, so you must learn how am I supposed to deal with these different people? That is another skill that we have to learn. Yeah. So when I look at this AI age, I think if our viewers can work on those soft skills that separates a human from a machine, they will really stand out in this AI age.
So in a nutshell, you are just telling people be human.
Yeah,
and focus on building your human strength.
Yes.
I think that's profound to me. And we may not talk about all that without furthering a conversation or igniting a conversation around what companies need to do. Because companies also have a pertinent responsibility in ensuring that they equip their workforce and all that. The other day we had a contention around whether companies should invest in their employees or not. Some arguing that you may invest in them and they leave. Others arguing that what if you don't and they remain. So in that same spirit, how should companies embrace or adopt a culture of continuous learning, especially to their workforce?
Yeah. So that is another wonderful question. When you look at work right now and all these voices and news about AI, first of all, staff are worried. In many places you'll go and staffs are worried that they could be replaced by AI. First of all, even before upskilling, companies need to reassure their personnel. There's a form of reassurance that companies have to come up with. Because at the end of the day, what you want is a productive, because if my mind is worried about being replaced the next moment and working, I may not be very productive.
Insecure.
So yes, that is first of all. And now the best way of reassurance, as you've said, is the bit of upskilling. Because now you have to empower them. And as much as they might go, let us assume that everyone is empowering their people. So even if another one from another place will come,
so they have also been empowered from where they're coming.
So because at the end of the day, it will help you in the recruitment. But companies, statistically, companies that empower, that reassure their people, employees who work in such places are very comfortable and they do not actually want to leave their places if the working environment is good. And upskilling is very, very key for your empowering your staff is very, very key to remain competitive in this AI age. Because now, as someone who is an employer and someone who has a company, one thing that we had to do in this AI age, we realized that even if we are in the tech space, not each and every developer actually is using AI tools. And actually, not all of them knows which AI tools to use. So we had to start a class of everyone, a wholesome class, and we had to upskill people and actually tell them, these are the tools that we see are giving the best results possible. And from that, we are able to do some of the things that could take very long, are taking a very short period of time. For instance, I was giving an example that when it comes to developing the UI bit of websites and all that, now it takes a fraction of a day to do that work because we went forward and we upskilled our staff and they can now do that effectively. And I'm pretty sure if you're a manager somewhere, if you're a CEO somewhere, and maybe there is an aspect of your work that probably you see there is some delays, you can actually do your research, see which skill can we do it, partner with the right bodies, empower your people. And I think by that way, you'll be very competitive, productive, and you'll have a reassured employee who will not be willing to go and stay at your place. Yes.
Okay. I have some questions here from the viewers, and I believe that you are going to be able to help a lot of the viewers to navigate this space. So the first question is coming from Joel. Joel is asking, he's saying, hey, I love the topic on AI. So what happens to people who spend years studying for jobs that AI is now doing better?
So we are talking about someone who's been studying a job for a very long time that AI is not doing better.
Now AI is doing that job better.
And okay, no, that's a wonderful question. Because we've spoken about adaptability, and the ability to adapt is that there is something that is coming. Change. We are told that change is always as good as a rest. And when you probably went to school and you probably learned customer service, and right now AI is doing customer service. So what are you supposed to do? Right now you're supposed to know to do prompt engineering. Because you can actually go and tell them, yes, this thing can be done by an AI, but I have another skill on top of that. I can actually use this AI to effectively answer our customers. Because again, we said that in this age that we are in, we are saying human plus machine. And that is the game changer. That is the winning formula. A human working alongside a machine. So you can actually upskill, and now it will be an added advantage in that job that you're going to. You're going and telling them, I cannot only do this, I can also do this. And so you are an addition to that machine, because every machine will need a human understanding. So if you're a human that understands that, you'll be better placed.
Okay, we are going to take a very short break, and then we are going to come back and answer the questions from the viewers. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and sorry for that short technical hitch. And we were taking the questions from the viewers, and I will continue asking the next question to Derrick, and still follows on the first question that we had. And Tom is asking, good morning team, Tom here. Everyone keeps on talking about adapt or die.
Yeah.
But nobody tells us how to adapt. What exactly does that look like, especially for someone with zero knowledge?
With zero knowledge.
Yes.
So, okay, already with zero knowledge, this is someone who has not adapted.
Yes.
But when you talk about adapting, when you go into a hot room, you have to remove your sweater. That is adapting. You go to an old cold room, you have to put on a sweater. And actually, our bodies adapt. You'll see changes in our body. And the same should happen in our behavior and how we adapt to technology. If AI is what people are doing right now, you need to cover yourself with an AI skill, because otherwise that hit now will get to you and you will not be of great value to this. So when you talk about adapting now, is at least get some basic skills, get an understanding, and see where you fall or what you can do in this. But the truth is, not everything will need AI in. Not every aspect of our life uses AI in our day-to-day. My mama Mboga probably only uses it maybe in her leisure. Not everything is using AI, but you can be better placed. You can be more competitive with AI, with an AI skill or with an understanding. You can actually hold a conversation. I'm pretty sure if you go to ask for any job right now, as part of the interviewer's question, there'll be a question about AI. I am very sure of that because I have been to several and I have had people getting asked these questions, and most of them do not have a clue beyond chatbots. So it will help you somewhere. Know it, adapt, know something, and adapting is learning, unlearning, and relearning. Yes.
Okay. Stacy in Umoja is asking a question. He's saying, I'm a young graduate right now. Do I chase tech skills or just focus on being really good at what I already do?
I've said before that not all aspects of our life are in the AI. So if actually you do something, if you're a nurse, you just have to know how. You do not necessarily need a tech skill, but you can probably know how whatever you are doing, how is AI affecting whatever you are doing, because you can be sure there is a way AI is affecting whatever you are doing. So that is where you keep up with trends. Because if you do not keep up with trends, now the trends will catch up with you. And now if it catches up with you and whatever you are doing now AI can do, you will not be valuable anymore.
Okay.
Yes.
There's another question here from the viewer. The question is, would AI just create a class of haves and have-nots in the workplace?
And actually, that is a very important that's a wonderful question, because I've been looking at that, because I've been asking myself, AI, but AI for whom? Who are the greatest beneficiaries of these AI? Will we see a time where there shall be AI inequality, whether the people who have used AI have made so much value and become so rich or become in a certain way, and a certain demographic of the population has been left in a certain way? So what is happening is, we spoke about AI ethicists, and people like me, actually right now, in my place of work, I'm trying to see how we can integrate AI for everyone, how we can democratize. I used democratize last time, how we can make AI inclusive for people in various demographics. Because you realize that, for instance, many AI tools are not accessible for SMEs. But now, a company like ours, we are developing tools that are tailored to the needs of an SME. So we are bringing you an AI tool that can actually work in the Kenyan context and work for you at a fee that is Kenyan also. Because most of these tools are foreign. But now, companies like us are doing that, are changing that. So we will help in alleviating, not necessarily have a class of have and have nots, but actually if you want it, we can actually give it to you. So if you need, so it will be about a class of needs and need nots. So if you need it, you'll have it.
You'll have it.
Yes.
Okay. A student or somebody in career, looking for career guidance is asking, and this is Pius in CBD. Thank you, Pius, for writing to us. Pius is asking, hello, good morning. I really love the conversation. Is it still smart to invest in careers like accounting, or are we just wasting our time?
That is another wonderful question. I have a cousin who joined Jomo Kenyatta University to do accounting, and actually I'm for it because, as we said before, we need people with a certain understanding of their fields. You need to know what are the principles of accounting, because at the end of the day, you have to. There will be need for someone who deals with the content that AI has come out with. So someone who understands the output also. And for you to understand the output, you must understand the basic guidelines and principles of accountancy, of nursing, of being a cashier. So you'll need that skill. If you're an accountant, finish your studies as an accountant, learn the AI tools necessary and how AI is affecting that field, and that way you'll be better placed than many accountants.
Yes. And actually what people don't understand with the AI, and I think this is important to stress,
Yes.
if you're not trained in a particular area or field, you will not be able even to understand the content that is an output of an AI. For example, medicine, for example, if you are an accountant and you've not studied medicine, even if you ask the questions about medicine, it will give you answers. But maybe you'll only be able to understand the very basics. But then when it comes to details, you are lost. So you need to also have learned and have some background on the field that you are talking about.
Yes, very important.
Okay, let's go to the next question. The question is, what about ethics? If AI makes a mistake at work, who is responsible, the worker or the machine?
That's a wonderful question. But okay, as we said before, AI is a tool. And what I have seen with AI and its output, AI depends on a certain, for AI to give you a certain quality of output, it needs a certain quality of input. So an employee could make a mistake on the quality of input, because at the end of the day now, it is upon us to ensure that the input is getting in and it is of the highest quality. Because the moment you give it substandard input, and when you talk about input, it's data or whatever prompt you want, but mostly in a work setting, it will be data. If you give it, let's say in a hospital, and you probably go and you want image analysis of a patient, but now instead of using patient A's data, use patient B's data. It will give you patient B's data, but then because of the human error now. So, there has to be also carefulness here, because that is why the humans are there, to be watchful. So if we are not keen on what our responsibilities are, if we are not keen and stay within the guardrails of what we're supposed to do and become diligent with them, AI will give us whatever it is that we ask of it with what we've asked of it.
A question from Jack. Jack is asking, I hear AI is making work more efficient. But does that mean more jobs or just fewer people doing more? Which is which?
Yeah, so now I've been looking at statistics and trying to understand, because I'm pretty sure AI will restructure and reorganize jobs. So what jobs will AI actually create? What percentage of jobs? And sometimes people can come up with statistics, but I was looking at, it's called the World Economic Forum. They're talking about AI will create around 170 million jobs by 2030.
New jobs or just existing?
New jobs. It could create new jobs. And by new jobs, it also means restructuring how old jobs used to look like. And for instance, we spoke about the cameraman but now we have a drone operator. That is a whole new job. AI will do that a lot. It will bring two things and come up with a thing, or now we will see ourselves needing this thing and this thing to make this thing happen. But now it will also eradicate around 95 million jobs. So there are jobs that will be rendered redundant. We used to have lift operators before. Those are jobs that no longer exist. We used to have typesetters. You see, actually that is a very good example to use. There are people who used to use that typing machine, but then the person who never went with that flow, with that technology, the one, yes, they knew how to typeset, but then they didn't teach themselves about computers. That person somewhere alipotelea. So even if you are in a field, you just make sure you are in adept and you've adapted with AI, and you will be on the safe side of the equation.
Okay.
As these jobs will come, you'll be on the safe side of the equation.
So net effect, AI will create more jobs.
Yes.
From the statistics you've just given us.
Yes.
Okay. A question from Francis. Francis is watching us on Facebook. Thank you for watching. And the question is, what would you say to someone who thinks all this AI stuff is just another tech bubble? itakuja iende, it will burst.
And that is a great concern. And I've actually been in a tech bubble. I have witnessed tech bubbles. When you look at history, we had the .com bubble, and it burst in. The .com bubble was very prevalent in the late 90s, early 2000s. We had people setting up these .coms. We call it the .coms. So everybody was having our .com business. But then we saw that bubble burst, and only a few businesses have remained. But AI is different. It's not a bubble. If I would compare AI to anything in history, it will be electricity. Because AI is powering softwares. It's powering how work is done. So it cannot be a bubble because it is already a way of life. It is not a concept. It is actually it shall become an integral aspect of applications, of the way people do things. So it is not a thought, or it's not something like we were talking about. There's a time we had cryptocurrencies and blockchain, and we were speaking about the metaverse. And and this bubble, I don't know, some say it burst, some say it's about to burst. But I look at AI very, very differently. Because if you look at the way AI has been adapted in the day-to-day activities, how we use it today, not everyone was in blockchain. Not everyone was in the cryptocurrency. But right now, almost everyone has ChatGPT, is using AI at an individual level. And that speaks volumes. So AI is not a bubble. It is something that shall be here with us. And we shall even leave it here and leave it to another generation. Yes.
Good, Lewis. What are the thoughts that come to close?
I think that conversation so far is so insightful, especially when we talk about AI creating more opportunities compared to the one it is going to expel. I take that to a reflection of where I come from. Where I come from, we farm rice. And a few years ago, we used to enjoy a lot going to the farms and doing the harvesting. Harvesting of around 1 acre used to take approximately 15 people. Today, we have a combined harvester that is only operated by 2 people. And that combined harvester can harvest around 7 acres per day. So that is to mean work that used to be done by approximately 100 and something people is done by a machine and 2 people in a day. So, but then come to think of it, those of us who used to do that, we are not starving today. We are not jobless today. It is just that production has been enhanced. People are now able to be productive in better ways. And I think it's the same thing with artificial intelligence disruption. Things are getting better. Only that we are worried because we think that whatever we do is only what ought to be done even in future. But as we progress, when we talk about adapting and adopting the technology, it is to mean that we are preparing ourselves for the forthcoming opportunities. And the opportunities are not coming for other people. We are still the people too. But there is a thing there. We must adapt. We must align ourselves. We must position ourselves accordingly. And therefore, to our viewers, I think this conversation has come at the very, very best time in our time, because we are the people who are experiencing that transition. And the best we can do to ourselves is to align, is to adopt, is to embrace. And instead of fighting, as Derrick has told us, AI is not a bubble. It is not coming to an end anytime in the future. I actually love it that you compared it to electricity, because what we are doing in the energy setup, in the energy sector, we are only making it better. Yes. So even AI, we will continue to make it better. Remember, we are talking about training AI models. So whatever today you think is AI, in the recent future will be much more. So you can't afford to compete with the opportunities, with the places, with the positions, with the opportunities that AI is presenting to us. So instead of focusing, instead of utilizing your energy to fight, to challenge the ethics and the everything, first, before you challenge anything, align yourself, embrace, adopt, learn, relearn, and unlearn. I think that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Coach Lewis. As we come to the end of this program, I just want to ask some parting shots from our guest, Derrick.
So we looking back in history, we had Society 1.0, hunters gathering, Society 2.0, agrarian revolution,
Yes.
Society 3.0, industrial revolution, Society 4.0, now the information age. Now we are in Society 5.0, whereby now we have humans working with machines alongside. So the best way to adapt is learn an AI skill. Start today. You are not too late to be AI literate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe you can give the viewer your numbers or how they can contact you just in case they need some apps.
Yeah. So you can contact me through 0705 094 881. Our company is called AkiliNova. You can send us an email through info@akilinova.com, or you can visit our offices behind Karen Square, Turner House, second floor, room 210. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much once again, Derrick, for being a guest in our show. And for the viewer, thank you very much for staying tuned up to this far. And thank you also for those who have actually subscribed and liked the program and even sent questions, and even those who have considered to support this program. We've been discussing the future of work in the age of AI. Until next time, this has been Kingdom Business Network. May God bless you very much, and may God enhance your businesses and equip you with the skills to take your business further. Thank you.
Wonderful.